I think that there's a lot of nuance missed when people talk about fed is best versus breast is best. This person said, no one's saying starve your baby if you can't breastfeed, you're reaching. But there's so much range between can breastfeed and can't breastfeed. Like, what does can't breastfeed mean? What does it mean? My baby was nursing 40 minutes every time she was hungry. But turns out she was never getting more than 5 milliliters. She got really bad jaundice because turns out she wasn't getting much milk. But because I chose to combo feed, she was never starving. Never. If I had chosen not to combo feed, she would have been starving. If I had chosen the breast is best route and not trusted my instincts, which told me my baby is not getting enough milk, then she would have been starving. Oh, trust your body. Trust your colostrum. Babies' bellies are tiny. And I think a lot of that rhetoric, like, it's there to dispel anxieties. But I think that in a lot of instances, like with my baby, which is so much more common than people realize, it can create additional issues, and it does lead to starving children. I think that we need to allow people to trust their instincts, and when your instincts are saying, my colostrum isn't enough, when your instincts are saying, I don't think my baby's getting enough because she's crying for more food, trust those instincts. I think that we, biologically, we're not actually meant to give the baby just our colostrum. I truly think that we are meant to be a more collective group society than we are. And I think that biologically, it'd be like, yeah, well, milk's not in, but there's another lactating mother who can provide additional. I think that that is biologically what we're designed to do. But we don't do that because we find it weird. And so I think instead, a lot of babies are starved in those early days. I'm not saying that's always the case, but that's why the breast is best rhetoric can be so harmful, because it can lead to starving babies. If I had listened to all of the lessons from my breastfeeding classes and from the breast is best rhetoric, if I had listened to all of that advice, my baby would have gone her early days starving. Yeah, she probably would have got her tongue and lip ties released sooner, because we would have realized, like, obviously that there was something physically preventing her from properly nursing. Maybe I'd still be nursing, but she also wouldn't be the chunky, happy baby that she is now, because her early days, she would have dropped on her curve. Because I chose to give her formula in those early days, she never had any issues gaining weight. I can't nurse now. I'd take that any day over my baby starving and thinking that she couldn't get her needs met in her first weeks of life while we're trying to figure out nursing. That's not worth it for me. You say no one's saying to starve your baby if you can't breastfeed, but that's literally what would have happened. Because I could breastfeed. I was making milk. My baby was, getting milk. There was visible milk in her mouth. There was no reason to think she wasn't getting milk, except that she wasn't getting milk. My baby would have starved. Her first few weeks would have been starving. She would have dropped on her curve. She would have been failure to thrive. If I had listened to advice like yours, if I had bought into that rhetoric, it would have been really bad. And starving your baby in those first few weeks, that can lead to lifelong implications. All I'm saying is trust your instincts. And my instincts told me my breast milk was not enough, and I was right.